Yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our global family. This is Power to Lead Show with Nziki Ngcoto. It's Empower Hour with Dr. MVUSI Songelwa. Tell us who you are. And we do this because you understand it again very well in our language. We say umntu yinkosi ukuzazi, so you know yourself better. And we teach the younger ones or people who have no confidence to tell who they are or to know who they are. So we're bringing up that inner self of know who you are and what you offer. Over to you. Thank you. I love you so much.
Thank you very much, Nziki. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate you bringing me on board on this show, talking about the rural settings and the cattle. I'm a cattle header, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
Having been in the conservation industry for a lot of time, the elephants are even more stubborn than the cows. So you can't get out. You just have to wait, you know. So yes, I think technology was just testing my emotional balance, which is the topic for today. As you had introduced me, my name is MVUSI, and that is a short name for Nomvuselelo. So every time when I travel, Nziki, people are actually, which is probably the same with you. Your name is not Nziki, the full name, but we
Yes.
actually had to shorten it for our global citizens to be able to do that. And
Yes.
even when I say Mvusi, then people say, okay, am I pronouncing it correct? But my introduction, really, I have learned to introduce myself by who I am, who
Okay.
I have discovered to be through a long life journey of trying to dig deeper why I see the world the way that I do. And through that transformation journey, I I I introduce myself and say I am. If you can't remember Mvusi, you can say she is RCC. So the R is talking to the fact that I really regard myself as a living example of resilience. Throughout my long life, which is more than 5 decades, which is going to be closer to 6 decades, I have gone through loops. I have jumped, high jumps. I have crawled. I have stumbled. I have fallen from to the personal life and professionally. So when I was writing my book, I kind of like, yeah, I am one of those people who are a living example of resilience. And in fact, I see that mostly when I am at the corner, when I am not in a job, when there's no title associated with me, when I have to actually really dig deeper, pray enough, and pray for stillness, pray for peace, pray for wisdom. The C part is, I believe, in terms of leadership, I have been shaped by my childhood experience, which is that of a cattle header. And when I was really digging through, I kind of like picked up some of the things that I had to apply in leadership, in parenting, and now in coaching, actually, that, okay, all these things I was prepared even before I understood the journey of leadership that I was going to be. Because I grew up in a rural areas as a first daughter. There were no, I didn't have brothers. So I had to actually assume that responsibility at a very young age, cattle herding, and looking after the assets of my parents when they were not there, but living in a community that was supporting me, knowing that I was that orphan, they were looking after me. So I call myself a cattle herder, and that's the reason why you will see that I say I'm Coach Umalusi. Umalusi in isiXhosa is anybody who actually has looked after livestock. I'm a change agent in some way, So that is why I say RCC. We can probably talk about that later. But in my tombstone, I would like that it is written, "Here lies a header of people, Umalusi, a nurturer and the revival of souls who had inspired others." That's my introduction.
All right.
Maybe I must just say what I'm passionate about. Are you there, Nziki?
Yes, Dr. MVUSI, say that. I'm coming up after that.
Okay, I'm actually
Yes.
passionate about fairness.
Okay.
Fairness, authenticity are those things that I'm passionate about. So the voices and visibility of those that are voiceless, be it women, the communities, or leaders. Those are the things that I'm that's the values that I'm passionate about.
All right. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And I love that authenticity that you're passionate about. And also, now you also went through reading my mind. Because I was going to say, this whole story on the balancing the leadership between self and the emotions between self and leadership, and you taking up leadership roles to an extent of people being deeply influenced, because I paparazzi our special guests. So I go around, I check when I prepare for the show and with the guests, and I found a beautiful testimony that really, I think it will bring you into tears again if I read it today. And also me, it's like, wow, this is the leadership that I aligned with. This is a sister that I know a long time ago before she became who she is today. And also bringing us together that, when we know each other a long time, are we able as sisters to support each other, to lift each other up, to appreciate each other, to celebrate each other? That is the authenticity that I love. And also to say, you are a firstborn. Is it because you are a firstborn that you took it upon yourself and you have all these gifts and talents that are your stronger inbuilt, or it's a combination? What is it exactly? Tell us, as me, who is a middle child.
It's a combination of a lot of things. You will know that Nziki, not all firstborns are responsible.
Exactly.
Both girls and boys.
Yeah.
And in any family, you will find out that there is just but one who will take that leadership role. So I guess it's really, for me, it's the blessing that we kind of like are given as individuals. As you all know, that we come on this earth, and we all are unique, and we all have the purpose that we we're assigned to do without us knowing. So I can say yes, for me, as being a firstborn, and I had 3 of my brothers who passed on at infancy. And my parents, in particular my father, didn't have a choice but to give me that role and groomed me and socialized me as a boy at a younger age. So I took the responsibility of looking after myself and myself first, my household, and also being an example in the community. So I really didn't want to disappoint my father in particular, because he came from the poorest household of my bigger family in my community, and I became the first graduate in my community. I became the first doctor in my community. So I had all the first. So I carry along that kind of, my shoulders are very broad. If you would, if you see my physique. So whatever I do, I always like think back about the name of the Songelwa family. I would really like to make it a point that all the people that say carry this surname, when they come to you or they meet you and they have known me, they actually really think of an inspiration or somebody who has made an impact. So you assume also that role within yourself. No one is going to tell you. You kind of like say, what is the legacy that I want to leave? Which really takes time for other people to kind of like take that responsibility. Yes, when I grew up like any other child, I was deprived of some things. I deprived myself of some things, some opportunities, because obviously I had all these fears, the fear of actually being vulnerable, the fear of being criticized, and I have always wanted to be perfect. And I looked up to people. Sometimes I got the good answers and the bad answers, that shaped me along the way. So there are friends, there are family people, there are strangers who have shaped me, not only here in this country, globally as well. So I can attribute that to that socialization, that exposure, and meeting many wonderful men and women who actually saw an opportunity and a potential for me and leashed me out. And I embraced it. Yet I still emotionally deep down had those kind of fears. Deep down, I still doubted myself. Deep down, I still have this imposter syndrome. Deep down, I actually led others the way that I wasn't, it wasn't me. So long time ago, I think that is really what shaped me.
Wow.
To you.
I'm listening to you with passion, and I hear a lot of, the strengths from within. First of all, I picked up the respect, and the respect from within. You respect not just yourself only; it extended to your parents, of which it is expected of you, but you extended that to the family and to the community, because
Yes.
now you are this icon. I remembered in the week, even at UNITRA, there would be a community when it was graduation time. It would be the whole bus that comes from a certain village, because there's one person who
Yeah.
broke that thing in the area that there's no graduate in this area.
Oh my
And
God.
now everyone is excited. They get on buses, but there's one person who was going to graduate. And they didn't mind to be in the great, not to be in the great hall, but to be in the auditorium or even outside just waiting, not having a space to go in and see the ceremony because of the space is not allowing everybody. But the fact that they're in the bus with you wearing that gown, it makes the whole community so excited, so proud of what is coming out of them. That
Wow.
respect is what I respect out of you again.
Wow.
And now, yes, that rod. How did you then balance that rod? Because that was a strong rod of respect with the weak rod of fear and doubt.
Yes.
How did you do this to be this global icon today?
Nsiki, I can really say with a high insight that sometimes we think that the road ahead of us is by our own design. You know how we were groomed is to use the intellect, you know. We always just wanted to be the best all the time. We think we know best. Um, and for me, you actually nearly made me emotional just now because it just reminded me of my first graduation. Because we came from a very poor family, we couldn't even hold the graduation in my at my father's house. But the whole community, Songelwa community, came together. It was like this pride in Umtata with Utatum. But it's those kind of things of kind of you remember the people that have baked you scones when you're going to high school. You remember those people who gave you a suitcase when you couldn't. And that for me grounded me. When I am at the corner, the very first thing that I think of is to go back to Tsilitwa, Uqumbu. If I'm not going there to actually just sit and sleep over at home for about a week or so, even when things are good, then I will just go and make a celebration, invite the whole community, people eat, drink, and it just for me brings, it revives me, and it's a way for me that I have defined as ndicela intsikelelo, asking for blessings, from the community for everybody, and also just inspiring the young people to know that it doesn't matter how exposed they are, how much English they speak, how global they have traveled, how many books they have read, how many titles they have. When those titles and those positions are no more there, the only people that will remain is the very same community that is looking after your parents and your siblings when you are not there. So I always like go back, go out, get lost, intellectually and whatever, and always like go home and just like be. So for me, that balance is you must actually just have a very good support system. It doesn't matter if your parents or family are not schooled, but just have something that actually grounds you. in some way or the other. And for me, that actually has always been that. I've always had strangers, unfortunately and fortunately. Fortunately, in that it's people who wouldn't drag my mistakes or drag what they have known me to be. It's people that embrace me as who I am and how I show up at the moment to actually see the potential in me. I will go back to those people, ask for advice. This is where I am. What is it that I can do? This is what I aspire to do. And you find that the universe brings those people who will elevate you.
Wow. I love this. You know what I like the most, Dr. Mvusi, is the ask, where even if you know you have studied, you have been groomed back home, but as you continue in leadership and journey on in life, you ask from other icons, you ask from other people who have gone before you. Now let's get to another reality in the asking. When you ask from women, there is this kind of tendency and this word that is always out there, queen bee.
Yeah.
We know there are queen bees out there. They are termed queen bees because they are the first to do something. Therefore, they must always shine and always be in that top position and always be embraced and celebrated, but never open a door for others to come in or even groom others, mentor them, coach them to learn how it is done. How has your experience been, in that area? Have you
Yeah.
been embraced? Have you been let down? Or was it a condemnation? Did you have to
Yeah.
fight through?
You yes, Nsiki, this is life.
Yes.
And we are human beings, all of us. And we
Okay.
all have egos,
Mm.
all of us.
Mm.
And even myself, I think when I grew up, maybe
Mm.
either my sisters or my children could have probably experienced me at a particular time to be that queen bee, even
Okay.
if I didn't intend to.
Uh,
The trick for me, if I talk to myself, is to kind of like be continuously learning, be eager to learn. I mean, the issue around self awareness and
yeah.
digging deeper, for me, and having found coaches and a transformational coach that has made me to be who I am is as that result of like, you want to learn more. You want to surround yourself with giants because you are who you are, but the people that are around you. Yes, I have actually, unfortunately, didn't have any women that were my supervisors in my life. So I had men, the good, the bad, and the ugly of those. But yes, I have had women that I worked with. Some of them embraced me, for who I am,
Mhm.
embrace people who wanted to learn me. And I think the what you posted as digging from somebody that I influenced was one of the young women. I can definitely be sure about that. Who it's one of those mentees that I assumed myself to be a mentor, you know. And there are some women actually who have deprived me of positions that I've applied for no particular reason. And in fact, I get told by the people around them, hey, that woman doesn't like you. That woman this is what she said. And you're kind of like, what did I do to this woman? But through the me and the being and the becoming I have been, I have learned to forgive myself first for having portrayed myself to those particular people who didn't embrace me. I have forgiven those who couldn't, because I want to live my authentic me. So for me, that is kind of like, that is what we have to understand. Not everybody else is going to be excited about you, but dig deeper. Find other people that are going to find your blind spots, and you must be clear about what life you want to live.
Sure. So this easy term, Dr. MVUSI, that always would say, you know what, be real with situations around you. You will never be liked by anybody. I mean, by everybody.
Yes.
Yes. And again, we just say from there, just get real and get along with it.
Yes.
And it brings us to that easy term, ukuthi uzoba strong, along this life.
Exactly, Nsiki. I mean, we're talking about the untold stories of women, which is something I'm passionate about again, which is actually bringing the voices of women, executive women, because
Yeah.
there's this narrative that we don't have competent women out there. There's this narrative that it's like, when you get into the boardroom, everything is kind of like, and you get the title. So we have so many people, and there are a lot of women that are in the boardroom that have been silenced, which is what I call corporate social silencing. That are silenced. And what we do, because we are feeding our own egos, we are worried about actually like our own children or our bread or whatever. We stay there. We lose
Yeah.
who we are. And those deep-seated issues are those that are, they actually culminate into, one of the women was talking, it's the trauma that no MBA, no training, no wellness can address. Is the healing that we have to actually go through. And we have to accept people as they are. Ziggy, you don't like me. You have your own reasons that you don't like me, but I will be true to myself.
Yeah. And you know what? Even in Xhosa, sometimes we had some easy terms where people would just say, they look at me as Nontsikelelo Ncotho, and like, I don't like her. Not even that I don't like her. Someone who's out andimpiwanga,
Injalo.
and then someone says, uzompiwa ungubani wena? Why fanele umphiwe? Because she's not created for you. If you don't like her, then pass. Pass and go to those who like it. People don't like you for no reason.
Yes.
Oh, I always say there's a reason, Dr. MVUSI, because they look at you, they see the light in you, and they see the greatness in you. People can see through you. Some people are very gifted, and as they see the potential in you, they see, if we put this MVUSI Songelwa in the position of a CEO of this organization, then it means we can be shut down, in other areas. And people don't understand the greatness in you, that you are going to bring them up as women. And also, really there are things we need to speak about as women. They think if there's a man, because they can even do ways and means of flirting with them. If it's a woman as a CEO, they can't flirt and get things and all, the
Yes,
nitty gritties and the flags around and be embraced as be because there's a woman on top. This thing, these are not hard topics, I say. They are real topics. We need
yes,
to deal with them and we
yes.
need to speak about them and need to break them down and get them out of the way. If we don't, Dr. Mvusi and me, if we don't do this in our platforms, our children are going to struggle and, because of the same spirit that will be transferred to their generations. What do you say about that?
You actually like hitting the my passion, and you're gonna make me like now feel more excited
Yeah.
uh, for two reasons or three. But
Yes.
you know, I can tell you now, any man who has a daughter takes his daughter to a private school, and they actually are aspiring and inspiring that daughter to be the best and to actually like the world is an oyster kind of whatever narrative. And yet what happens when you get to the boardroom? That same daughter, as educated as she is, she actually doesn't uh, you know, gets the kind of embracing. Either the way you speak, you will be labeled, or how you dress, you will be labeled, or what you have studied, you will be labeled, or how you look, or how your body is, you will always just be labeled. But an inspired woman and an empowered woman, which is what we are wanting to, we have to actually leave as a legacy, is to actually know that we have sons. By the way,
Yeah.
one of my sons' birthday today. I've got five beautiful children.
Oh,
Two of them are actually married to my sons. So when you actually really think about it, you have to start from home. How I treat my daughter in laws, I don't use that term. It must be the
yes.
same way that I would like other my sons to treat another woman. And I keep on saying this. When both of them were married, I told them, if you abuse this child, I'll be the first one to take you to jail. So we have to bring our own children to be what both boys and girls to respect each other. So I have gone beyond actually saying it's about men, it's women, because the whole thing is a human being is what you see is just a piece or a tip of the high iceberg. There's a lot of kind of things that are happening deep down the person, the things that we can't see, the motivation, the beliefs, the values, the reasons why that person behaves the way that he does. And these are the kind of things that we're talking to, that we need to actually look at and kind of like dig deeper, because we are all wounded people, men, women, but we don't talk about these things. Yes, we have had those women who don't support us. Yes, we had some men who don't support us. But amongst us all, if the end goal is equal opportunity, is humanity, we need to be driving a narrative and stories and solutions that are actually respecting a person as humanity, as a human being. And that when we
Yes.
lead, we should not do. the leadership. We must not act. We go to do something. We have to be leaders, and it starts from within. And that is why I
Mm.
like the show that says the power to lead, but then I add it only
Mm.
comes from within. It starts
Yes.
with you. Before
Yes.
you can lead others, you need to lead yourself. And that I learned at a very late stage of my life. I would be a better leader than I was 3 years ago.
Yeah. And Dr. Mvusi, it's about who you are and now to know yourself. You took us to that level. And the very first thing when you lead integrity, I put it to love. It's about love.
Yes.
Loving who you are
Yes.
first. And
Yes.
then you can pour out what you have and to see with the eyes of love, hear with ears of love.
Yes.
Then you become empathetic with situations. And now I love this because it takes us to understand and to want to know more about you. What is your passion exactly? And how did you define it?
For me, my as I indicated earlier, when
Mm.
I ask myself why am I always protecting the absent? Why am I always wanting to speak for the underdogs? Why irks me when somebody disrespects me and somebody undermines me or sabotages me or silences me or pushes me away? So I had to ask those questions for me. What irks me? Why? Why? And I actually just then realized that my passion is about I really love, to be fair, I mean, I really love to be in happy spaces. I don't like toxicity. I don't like people
Mm.
who actually skinner about others. My friends will tell you that
Mm.
I don't talk about somebody else in his or her absence, because I'm going to
Yeah.
repeat the same thing that you told her, you told me about her or whatever. So for me, my passion is fairness, is to actually just see that we treat each other with, we fair,
Yeah.
and we have also to be authentic, to be who we are, you know. There used to be, when I don't know about you, I used to work in a male dominated institution, and that's when I learned that it's not about being white or a man or a woman or black. So most of the times people connect with each other
Yeah.
because you are aligned, your values are the same. You go abroad, you meet people in a program of 40, like you are 40 global citizens in this program. You stay together for a year, but you will always get aligned and retain friendship over
Yes.
years with people that you met that year because you share the same values. So for me, it is that yes, most of the categories, most of the people, they oppress each other. We can say most men, for instance, are oppressive to men, the same way we would say most elderly women were oppressive to younger women.
Mm. Yeah.
But how do we really voice these things, verbalize them? Because if we don't verbalize them, we'll never address them. There are good things that we do in any other culture, that there's a good and the others that are bad. And I think what we really need to do is to evoke that in authenticity amongst ourselves and we redefine, we unlearn some things, we learn other things, and we relearn other things, because
Yeah.
life is not static, like you are doing now. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what you are doing now. You are on technology, those kind of things which were not there before, so which means we evolve, we change, we must embrace change, we must take a break, we must reflect and look at how can we be the best of ourselves to serve humanity, because that is all what we want. We all want to serve humanity, and because we are unique, we will all like come from different angles. We will bring our skills, our attributes, and together we can make the world better. Me and
Yeah.
you, now we can decide we are going to design a program. If we
Yes.
are about women, if we are about leadership,
Yeah.
the program is going to be better than I would if I would do it on my own. And that is
Mm.
life. That is
Yes.
life.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the world has actually detached our African values, and we are groomed to be and schooled to be so individualism, competition,
Yeah.
outshining each other is actually the
Mm.
thing. And I think we are all realizing now that we united, we shall stand.
Yes. Absolutely. You know, you have covered actually even the next question about your purpose. You have just lined up your purpose to serve humanity. Now, in the next 45 minutes, our left foot, you are going now to assist us to help somebody to learn from you from the show how to break down now that purpose or through the
Mhm.
programs that you'll be doing as well and will also be doing. Now, Dr. Mbusi, you said something very, very profound. In the villages where we grew up, bekubakho into kuthiwa lilima, something called
Yes,
ilima. It's,
yes.
what is ilima ngesingesi? Collaboration, actually.
Yes,
Do
actually,
you know? A
yeah,
collaboration, actually. Yes.
it is.
And if someone needs her garden, if we see that your garden needs to be tended first, then we all wake up in the morning. All you do, you just do some drink for us with meal that is called amaheu. It's now
Yes.
in the branded markets as amaheu with banana
Mhm.
flavor and strawberries. But amaheu with just milimi, and we wake up, we get our own tools. I come with my own, tool to your garden, and others, all of us around in the community,
Yes,
we start with this garden.
yes,
We
yes,
work on this garden. We make sure this family is balanced. And all
yes.
you do, you feed us, at least give us energy during the day. Then we go to the next garden, all of us again as a team. Where has that spirit gone?
So you, I had, it's one of the lessons that I was taught through cattle herding. As you know, if you have 10 or more cattle, there's no
Mm,
way that you can actually like find this cattle in the field on your own. But if you rely on other boys,
yeah,
and you have a good relationship with other boys, you will actually, they will tell you, oh, I saw it there, oh, it was there with the others and I brought it. When you go to deep is the same thing. They have to
yeah,
be together, and as your flock comes in, then you have all the boys coming, helping you for this cattle to get into that row. Similar, you do the same thing. That's collaboration. Where is it
yeah.
gone? I tell you, it's the schooling for me.
Mm, mm,
The schooling, we have actually embraced more the uh, Western ideas as the ideas. I can tell you now, even in leadership, even in the MBA schools, you will find that a lot of books that are prescribed are, are books that are written by
Yeah.
either the Western world, of course, because they probably wrote these things. Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
And I think that is how we have been like channeled, dogmatized to
Mm.
actually undermine the who we are as African people, to
Yeah.
actually like step on each other, you know,
Mm.
and if there is something you are doing right, then you are actually brought down by your very own people, by your very own women, by the same people that come from your own village, because we think competition is the thing.
Mm.
And I think COVID actually has taught us a lot, maybe with as a way of God saying, take a step back, guys, just
Yeah.
reflect. Because now we have come out, all of us, we are recognizing the smaller businesses that they have to connect with the bigger businesses.
Yes.
People are excited about authentic stories, you know. The
Yes.
world is descending to Africa because they want to actually learn more about the wisdom, the creativity, the innovation in Africa. Guess
Yeah.
what is happening is that we don't celebrate ours. When they go abroad, then they would actually get celebrated there. And only afterwards, we want to give them awards after they have
Yes.
been celebrated elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
mentality, you know.
Mm.
You might have probably gone through, and a lot of people are saying these things. I've knocked on so many doors in
Yeah.
South Africa. I had this idea. I went to funders. I had
Yeah.
this idea. No one actually. But what
Mm.
I did, I connected with somebody who saw this as, wow, this is innovative and whatever. And they elevated me, and this is where I am. And then people come back. Now we want to plug in. So
Yes.
for me, it's, yeah, it's the mindset.
Yes.
Um, we undermine the who we are and what we can bring. And it starts from us. It starts from me. Even
Mm.
myself, I always say, if I had the confidence a long time ago, if this is who I am and I didn't have these fears, I would have been probably far. I would have, and this is what I always think. But now I'm a better person to know that it's okay not to know. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's
Yes.
okay to go to a stranger and ask. It's okay to actually greet someone else, sincerely wanting to know, okay, what are you doing? That networking. And those are the things that for me, I withheld because I was fearing something. Now, if you're vulnerable, you be yourself. In fact, that is what people are looking for. Go out with your flaws, you know, because
Yes.
everybody knows that we all like human beings, but don't fake. Because if you do
Yes.
fake and you
Yeah.
act, people see through you.
Yes. You know what I like about this? Let me bring out something because I see we are wearing blue today, both of us. And I love
I
I
don't
love
know.
that because this is hope. It's blue for hope. You know those colors we used to do that when we grew up.
Yes, white
Yellow
for
for
peace.
jealousy, blue for hope, and then white for peace, black for sorrow, and all those things.
Yes,
Red for danger.
and
But
we
I love
didn't
it.
plan. We
Yes, we
didn't
didn't
plan.
plan. I'm bringing this hope that you brought to the world, and I'm bringing up this poster. And I know you're not going to like cry. If you cry, it will be beautiful. And I'm reading this, and when I read this poster, I see what leadership is. And you don't need many, you need just one to give you hope for tomorrow. It's on the screen. And it says, Dr. MVUSI Songelwa opened the door for me when I have been knocking for many years. A woman that elevates other women as she rises. An administrative perfectionist, a silent disciplinarian. I love that. Through her, I have learned that mediocrity will not take you far in life. Surrounding yourself with people that never challenges you, not only will it pull you back, but it weakens your growth. Decisiveness is one of the many strengths she holds. A driver for change, a teacher at heart. I have learned through her that we can laugh together while delivering the best work. Due diligence is an order of the day. Her laughter is therapeutic. I realized through her that I too can age gracefully by embracing family and physical strengths. Family comes first. Her kids and mother are dear to her, something that no success in life can ever give you. It is through this woman that I knew a job title comes secondary to who you are. It does not define you. A realization few will wake up to. I am grateful and I salute you, Vusi.
My gosh.
This is so beautiful. This is what we have to tell each other whilst we are alive, and what you need to hear, and what the globe needs to hear. We're on the global platform, thank God. And this is so beautiful. Let me even bring you closer to the stage so people see that leadership is through influence. We always say, and young leaders and younger generation, they are always saying here, we don't see leaders, we need role models. I bring to you, here she is, Dr. MVUSI Songelwa. MVUSI is a revival. We are here reviving what God has planted on this earth is back to basics. It's a revival and a blessing. She's a revival and blessings. And as she said before, we are here and we are saying, take up the baton. When we talk about back to basics, Dr. MVUSI, I know you're about to take that program now, and that is your purpose. Please tell us about that, and then we can get to the other end of your life. Tell us about what you're about to do with women.
Yes. Wow. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Really talking about, I hear some, can you hear the background?
Yes, I hear you very well. You can just maybe lift your voice a little, but I hear you.
Okay. There's an echo though when I talk. I don't know if you can hear.
Oh, I hear you clearly. I don't hear the echo.
Oh, okay. Let me continue.
Okay.
It's from my side. So
okay, no problem.
What we are doing is to bring together women. In fact, it's not together first. I'm having conversations like you are doing now with executive women that are in the positions and those that have been in the positions to talk about what is it that we are not talking about in the executive positions. We hear some women who kind of like, I didn't care what I was going to do, but there was no way I could stay there. They go out, they find other things to do. We have some women who actually are there and they can't get out of the positions. But when they talk outside with the family on friends, they talk about the violence that is happening behind the closed doors of courtrooms, along the corridors of the offices where they live. And this silencing is happening at different levels. And people just decide, I'm not going to voice my anything because I am not seen, or I am not recognized, or I'm not included in the decision making. And sometimes I get to the boardroom and you can see that people have discussed these things. Or I am there, I am just like in a position, and people want me to sign things that I haven't decided or that I do not want. I don't want to do. And then I don't want to compromise myself because things might happen. So they get silenced also by the things that people say to them. Either you're an iron lady, or you were saying you're a PD, or please don't be emotional. So you get silenced by not only the people that are supervising you, but even you will find out there's group mobilizing of people that are bullying you as an executive. And little do you know that these people are probably influenced by somebody who is at the higher echelon. And these are the things that are coming up with these conversations that I have had already. So I'm still continuing. And I'm also going to bring men that are going to talk about their insights of having executive women, either they have posed or they have worked with. And what we want is to highlight these untold stories. And then we come up with solutions. And what is coming from this preliminary research already is these things that people do in the boardroom. Others are subtle, it could be, it's not a harassment that you can actually say, this is what this person did, it's the whispering that happened. It's how people belittle you or undermine you or do not provide you with the resources or recognize you. All these kind of things are coming up as the silencing. But these things have got long-term impact. And the unfortunate part is that this long-term impact is dealing with the people. It's the pain, it's the hurt, it's the trauma. It affects the well-being of the person, which has an impact in people's family, and in fact, even with the productivity of the work that they are supposed to do. So these are the things that are coming up now. And some of the solutions are coming out of these discussions to say, listen, the organization needs to actually address the climate survey outcomes. Because this information is there. One, people get to know why people are living. Two, people should not be blaming the plant when you're putting it in a pot when it's withering. You have to look at the environment of the organization itself. What are the things that you need to do to support women that are in this position? Because leadership is a spiritual journey. And it is a hidden gem. And the lessons that we are learning from these discussions is that we need to dig deeper. We heal leaders in this